name is Thomas, and I like a little bit of everything. Welcome to an unprofessional discussion. Today, Game of Thrones' Red Wedding or Berserk's Eclipse. Which is better? Now, these series have been compared to each other by fans of each. They are both set in a medieval setting and both have brutal worlds. Both have main characters that can die very easy. And both have scenes of betrayal that leads to the death of many of our beloved characters. It is my ambition in this video to try to come to a conclusion about which is the better scene. Better being a loose term, as these are both horrible scenes that are difficult to watch. And for the record, I am a fan of both of these series, and I have seen them both, and I love both of them, so there is no bias in any regard to either of these. Before I do any comparison to try to determine the superiority of either of these events, I want to give a brief recap of each of these scenes. This is due to any of you brave few who are not afraid of spoilers who do not know about one of these or the other. So, here we go. Recap. The Red Wedding is the regicide of King in the North and the Trident, Robb Stark, his mother, Catelyn Stark, his pregnant wife, Talisa, at least in the TV show Game of Thrones, and most of his forces by his bannerman, Roose Bolton and Walder Frey. This is more atrocious in the world of Westeros due to Walder Frey betraying the ancient vow of guest right. This event was orchestrated by Tywin Lannister, the rival power to the Starks. This event ended the North's part in the War of the Five Kings and usurped the hold of both the North and the Riverlands to the Boltons and the Freys. The eclipse is the ascension of Griffith, leader of the mercenary group, the Band of the Hawk, to his new persona of Femto, the fifth God Hand. This ascension required the sacrifice of the entire Band of the Hawk to the horde of ravenous apostles that had gathered to witness the eclipse. Though most fought bravely, they were one by one slaughtered and devoured by the apostles. The only two that remained were Casca and Guts. Guts fought desperately and ferociously to save Casca, but the sheer amount of apostles overwhelmed him. The new Griffith, now Femto, then raped Casca and forced Gus to witness it. The two were spared a gruesome death via rescue by the Skull Knight, though Casca was mentally shattered to a childlike mental state, and Guts was reduced to a walking wound of rage. Both these scenes have areas in which they surpass the other, though neither series has home runs in any category. These categories are as follows: visuals, writing, drama, shock, build-up/aftermath, in-universe impact, and audience impact. Both of these scenes score high in all categories, so I will not waste any more time and begin the difficult task of judging two of the most haunting moments in all fictional media. If you ask anyone who has seen one of these moments, they will describe to you a multitude of images that have been seared into their dreams. Quick note, for the Red Wedding, I will be going by the show version of the event. Even though I first read this scene myself, the show is the most familiar and the most impactful of the two versions. Scenes from the Red Wedding include Catelyn's inspection of Roose's chainmail, the Frey approaching Talisa, blade raised, and then plunging it into her womb. Arya and the Hound's almost funny attempt to crash the Red Wedding. The death of Grey Wind. crossbow bolts hitting both Robb and Catelyn. The North slaughtered. Walder Frey's flee. Arya and the Hound escape. Catelyn's threat to Walder Frey. I'll find another. A mother's wail. And of course,
the Lannisters send their regards.
Another side note. I'm not going to include any scenes of the Eclipse from Berserk's Lost chapter. I say this because I trust that the writer, Kentaro Miura, knows how to tell a story better than I do, and I will continue to trust in his judgment as he has not let me down so far. Scenes from the Eclipse include Griffith's vision, Griffith's attempted suicide, the approaching army of apostles, summoning of the God Hand, the death of Corcus, the death of Judeau, Guts finds Pippin, the fifth God Hand, Femto, is born. Guts cuts off his own arm. Skull Knight breaks into the Eclipse. Casca is raped by Femto. The way I plan to show the ratings of each of these categories is I'm going to show the ratings first so you will know who won. Then I will explain to you why that particular entry won. I will do that for every category, starting here with the visual category. In visuals, the Red Wedding ranked 7 out of 10. The Eclipse ranked 9 out of 10. Now, this is a bit unfair to the Red Wedding, a phrase I never thought I'd say in my life. Well, Berserk has an advantage the Red Wedding does not. Berserk's original source material is also a visual medium. Game of Thrones is not. It is a textbook. Well, it's a book of text. So, barring fan art, which I'm not including here, there is no visual representation of the Red Wedding as described in the books, except in your head. There is, however, multiple sources of the Red Wedding, including video games, two different anime series, a manga series, and more than I could probably think of. And there's also spreads that Miura has done himself. So there are many images of the Eclipse to draw from. And Miura likes to take his time when he does his manga. So that the manga alone would probably win. And it also has the anime to include. I know most people do not like the new adaptations because they are heavily CGI, and I haven't seen most of them. I've seen the first one, and I've seen bits of like the new series on Crunchyroll. The censorship just disturbed me for some reason. Just the lack of nipples was weirding me out, so I didn't really watch it. But off topic, sort of. Anyway, the manga, the original anime, and parts of the new anime give Berserk a leg up, and it wins the visuals category. Hello, I wanted to finish editing this video like I had the previous part, but I'm doing this on an iPhone. I don't have a computer right now, and the app that I'm using to edit this is crashing every time I try to edit another video. So I'm trying to make one last video, show you what the categories are. I have them right here, and each one, which one each part. I'll give you a brief description of each. And we already know about the visuals. The writing, Red Wedding had 9 out of 10, and the Eclipse had 7 out of 10. The Red Wedding won because obviously it was written by George R. R. Martin, who's a really great writer. It had much, you understood every participant in the Red Wedding. You understood why they were doing it. In the Eclipse, there was a load of God Hand, which we still don't know they're in, and all the apostles, which we didn't know anything about back then. So that got 7 out of 10. The Red Wedding won the writing. The drama, the Red Wedding got 9 out of 10 because you saw a mother getting her son murdered in front of her eyes, who she thinks is her last born son. You get the woman getting her baby born. maybe stabbed, at least on the show. You get a man watching his wife murdered in front of him, an entire kingdom's armed forces slaughtered by the people they trusted. You got 9 out of 10. But Eclipse got 10 out of 10. Because while you weren't... The betrayal of Bruce Bolton and Walder Frey was... You didn't like them anyway. You liked Griffith. You wanted to help him. You wanted them to help him. And when they all tried, they died trying to protect him. Guts, his primary motivation for the first part of the Eclipse was to protect Griffith, and he had already written him off. And I don't like saying this, but there is no rape in the Red Wedding. Casca's rape is a horrible event. It's a traumatic event that has lasting effects, and it gives it a 10 out of 10. The harshness and the personal aspects of the betrayal, and the sheer wipe of how many characters we cared about that died, gives the Eclipse a 10 out of 10. Shock value. They both get 10 out of 10. While we didn't know something was going to happen with the Eclipse, and we didn't know with the Red Wedding, the Eclipse was much more brutal than we thought it would be. People who were reading the series, we did not expect it to be as bad as it was. No one knew what the Red Wedding was coming. Book readers knew it was going to happen in the show, but they didn't know it was going to happen in the book unless they got spoiled. That doesn't count. I didn't know it was going to happen in the book. I was just as shocked as the show watchers when I was reading in the book. And like I said, the Eclipse, it was much, like I said, it was much more brutal. We thought everyone died, but Casca didn't die. Casca got raped and then just destroyed mentally, and was horrible. And the fact that we came to like Griffith and what had happened to him was horrible, but what he did was worse. We understood where he was coming from, we just hated it. It was worse. So they both get 10 out of 10. Even score, tie on shock value. The build-up and the aftermath. Red Wedding gets an 8 out of 10, and Eclipse gets an 8 out of 10. It's a tie there again. Both different reasons. Red Wedding had small build-up that you really only noticed after you watched it again. But it had a lot of aftermath. The Red Wedding affected everything that happened afterwards. The Red Wedding put a halt on the Starks for a long time, and it started the decline of all the houses that participated in it. In the show, spoilers, if you're still watching and you care about spoilers, you're stupid. No offense, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't care about spoilers right this late in the video. Anyway, the aftermath. Tywin Lannister's dead. The Boltons are extinct. The Freys, the upper part of the Freys anyway, if they still go to the books, the upper part are dead. Walder Frey and his 2 sons are dead. The people who the Freys that actually took a part. And the Eclipse gets an 8 out of 10 because it had so much build-up. The Eclipse was mentioned so many times, and we knew Griffith was a demon before the Golden Age happened, so we knew something bad was going to happen, and we didn't see any of the Band of the Hawk. We didn't know Casca survived. We thought everyone dead. We knew everyone was going to die. We knew Griffith was going to be turned into a demon, and we knew Guts would hate him. We just didn't know how, and it was just slowly building, and it got to a point where it was just, we knew it was, every time a new chapter came out, like, this is it. Zod just said Eclipse, this is it. And it was just so much building. When it happened, it was worth it. The aftermath of the Eclipse wasn't that much for a while. Because it was a prequel, the aftermath we'd already seen, pretty much. And the stuff really affected, I'll get to that next part. Influence on the universe, on the in-universe. The Red Wedding had a huge influence on the universe. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Red Wedding got 9 out of 10, and Eclipse got a 10 out of 10. Because Eclipse didn't affect the world of Midland, which is just one kingdom. There's a whole world Midland was one kingdom. It was not really, no matter what Screw Attack says in their video, Guts versus Nightmare. Midland is not the world. Midland is a kingdom, and Guts goes everywhere because he's at Elf Island right now. Anyway, the Eclipse didn't affect everyone for a while. Actually, no one gave a shit about the Band of the Hawk. No one even recognized Guts anymore. But eventually, Griffith came back, and the Millennium Falcon arc. I'm not going to spoil that, but needless to say, Griffith becoming Femto had a gigantic impact on the world, more than the Red Wedding did. Because the Red Wedding, it really didn't do anything outside of Westeros. People in Essos, even Dany, didn't care about the Red Wedding. So it got a 9 out of 10 because it affected Westeros a lot, and that's the area we care about the most, but it didn't affect the whole world. The Eclipse eventually affected the entire world. Okay, the impact on audience. The Eclipse gets an 8 out of 10, and the Red Wedding gets a 10 out of 10. Because, seriously, you probably clicked this video because of the Red Wedding. You didn't click it because of the Eclipse. Some of you probably did, but most of you probably didn't. Because I put clickbait in the title, Assaulting the Red Wedding. So that right there warrants it being a 10 out of 10. Everyone was surprised by it. It was just, people stopped reading forever. Most people stopped reading when they read it in the books. Most people stopped reading for months or weeks. Some just picked it back up immediately, but great many people just couldn't read it ever again. Some just took forever to start picking it back up again. We couldn't move to Berserk. We could not wait till the next chapter. We immediately tried to read it. And I guess that's an impact too, but that not reading it, just shock value, that's a bigger impact. So it gets 10 out of 10. So, quick recap. Visuals, the Eclipse one out of 9 out of 10. Writing, the Red Wedding one. Drama, it was drama, the Eclipse one. Shock value, it was a tie. Build up and aftermath, it was a tie. Impact upon the impact in the universe, it was the Eclipse one, and impact on audience, the Red Wedding one. The total is, out of 70 total points, the Red Wedding got 52 out of 70. The Eclipse got 62 out of 70. The Eclipse won. Based on some of like the visual medium, and just it's been around longer. It's had a much more. Actually, it might be around the same time because they both came out, and they're both very long-running series, and they're both not complete. Both fandoms worry about their. Unfortunately, I'm in both fandoms, and both fandoms are worrying about their creator dying. So, yeah, Eclipse eked out the Red Wedding enough, and it tied enough to win. And also, based on my rock solid analysis, yes, the Red Wedding, yes, the Red Wedding is for pansies. Read Berserk, and you'll see what true trauma is. Hey, this is my outro for, I don't know, the foreseeable future, I guess. This is the first video I have ever put this much effort into, and I was this passionate about. I've been thinking about this subject for a long time. And I would love to hear anyone comment about it, so please don't be afraid to comment. I'm very open to criticism about this, especially if you disagree with me. And if you agree with me, don't be afraid to support me either. And if you want, like and subscribe. I guess that's how that's gonna go. For now, thank you. Bye.